Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Cast Brothers. It's a Smash Brothers podcast where sometimes I like to say the only podcast where you'll find, and then I'd say something it's like almost the same thing every time about me and the two of us, and sometimes there's torture involved in Smash talking. We make a lot of character move sets around here. It's dangerous to go alone. I wish I could take something else besides Jonno.
What?
I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister. That is Jonno, otherwise known as John. No. He
Hey, man,
he is
DK in
a
Mario Kart World
creature
does that like
that
so much.
Yeah, I hate it.
He dabs a lot.
I
I noticed
fucking
that.
hate it. I'm not changing the Donkey Kong article on Smashtopia to make that be a taunt. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I'm not doing it.
Imagine he does it when he collects the golden banana at the end of every level in Bonanza.
He very well might. He very well might.
Tickle my heart. My fingers too. Yeah. It's time for Smashtopia.
It is time
What
for a
a
Smashtopia.
thing.
We're getting near the end of the season. There's only, including this one, there's only two left before our finale. So
Mhm.
hopefully we've got some good ones planned, not like real weird chaotic fodder, right?
That's what you usually call me.
That is chaotic is absolutely a word for you. Fodder.
Huh.
I don't think I've used fodder to describe you. That said, if we were being chased by a bear, I will trip you.
And Dr. Flaffenstein too.
I'm
Doesn't
not going to
stand a
comment
chance.
on that because that's not a real thing that exists. You know what does exist
He was
though?
there. Yeah, Rayman.
The Smashtopia. Yeah, Rayman does exist, and we'll get to Rayman. But funny thing is, there's two funny things about this. Rayman was not originally the third party character that we had planned to talk about this season. I said it was somebody else, and I just did not have the time to research them. But funnily enough, Rayman was also the originally planned character to talk about in season two. So he's finally getting his due some way, somehow. If we didn't end up doing
Right.
him this season, I would have pushed for him next season.
I'm mildly, not really, but mildly surprised it hasn't happened yet. Up until now.
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to hit different
An obvious
companies.
choice.
Part of what it was, and there was just never a
Mm-hmm.
good time to circle back to Rayman. Because season one, we did an Assassin's Creed character, and it was like, do you want to do Ubisoft 2 years in a row? We're only doing one third party character a season. Probably not.
Right. Well, we're here now.
We're here now, or rather, we'll be there in a bit because we got to get through our showcases first. Because we decided, hey, instead of just talking about characters, because there are more things to Smash than just that, we put a lot of things in the Smashtopia Wiki that don't happen on the podcast. So why don't we
Mm-hmm.
talk about them and kind of present them to each other and to the viewers? And sometimes we have characters in those too, and sometimes we don't. In fact, our last few haven't had characters. It's been a bit since we've had any. Uh,
Funny how you're teeing this up because maybe
Funny
that's
how I
going to
queue this
change.
up because we're finally breaking the streak of not having a character in a showcase. I'm actually checking how many
Oh yeah.
episodes ago that was. Oh wow! Wait, have we not done one all season?
No, I did Giant Squid.
Oh yeah, that didn't register me as a character name, so I just completely zoned past that. I'll be honest. I was like, yeah,
Not
Giant
only
Squid,
a
that's a
character
boss
name,
name.
but but a soon to be a playable character in Mario Kart World 2.
No, that's Gooper Blooper.
And his cousin.
If we can
When we got
get
the Endless Ocean
Conkdor,
crossover.
if we can get Conkdor as a racer and a pokey, honestly, Goober Blooper, not outside of a possibility. We've had
Very few
Piranha
things
Plant, or
are.
not Piranha, but we've had PD Piranha before.
Yeah. And we have
Hmm.
Piranha Plant now, you're right.
Yeah, in both Smash and Mario Kart.
And Sidestepper and Kamek is an
And
item in Mario Kart
Fishbone.
World. Yes.
That of
What a
all the
time.
enemies in Mario Kart World that have become research, Fishbone is one that's just like, what? That one. That's when we're like there are all these other ones where it's like, oh yeah, Conqueror doesn't make any sense. Dolphin doesn't make any sense. Um
Hmm.
Pokey doesn't make any sense. But I always land on Fishbone. It's like that's the one for me. It's like
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
ridiculous of a lot. I don't hate it,
yeah. And
but it's the most ridiculous.
yeah, it's inspired. I'm sure that we will set a small bit of time aside on a next on topic to talk more about this. But very briefly, you have the Switch 2.
I do. It's
And
right
this is an episode
here.
coming out. Yes, beautiful. Looks like a bigger version
Uh,
of the first one, which makes sense because it's the
it
sequel.
literally just is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Joy
Yeah.
Cons lost all their color.
Yeah. Just have those little rings.
Yep.
Little rings. Well, that's cool. And I know it's like over a month since the Switch 2 came out when this comes out, but
Yeah.
not when we record it, as it goes.
It'll be it'll be like a month and 3 weeks
Yeah,
after
and
we record this
I had
episode to when
mentioned
this one releases.
yeah, I had mentioned the possibility of DK doing the dab in Bonanza, and I was like, oh, well, Bonanza's actually already out by the time this episode is out. Whoops. Well, let us know in the comments if DK is dabbing it up.
Yeah, maybe they'll see this episode and be like, oh shit, and they're gonna release a patch and update it to include that,
Yeah, maybe they'll
and
put
then
the
it'll
cow
be
in there too.
pathetic. Maybe they'll put King K. Rule somewhere.
Yeah.
They won't. I
There's
would think that
question.
with him
Question.
with them realizing, oh shit, he is popular and getting to Smash, that would be like, oh, huh, we should put him in a game against. Like, yeah, it should.
A K rule in a 3D platforming environment would be like such an innovation. Good. You can have him singing and all his glory and different costumes, like the cartoon, but good.
Like DK64.
Yeah, but also, well, I would describe DK64 as good. Yeah, great.
Because like you're saying, it's like, man, imagine if we had King K. Rool in a 3D platform. It's like we do. It's called
Hmm.
DK64. It exists.
Nintendo has forgotten about it ever since, though.
It was it was his last main appearance. I think he might be in like a Jungle Climber or something, but then beyond that, he's in the
Hmm.
GameCube. No, I think he's at the Wii Mario Baseball, and then it was Radio Silence until
He is.
Smash
He is.
Ultimate.
And then he's in like DK Barrel Blast or some shit like that.
Oh yeah, that did release. I keep getting that one mixed up with the other Donkey Kong racing game that didn't release,
Mhm.
and so in my
Sad.
mind, neither released.
That hurts my heart. It was on the GameCube box and everything.
Well,
Hey, GameCube NSO. Hey.
yes. Uh, but let's focus in here. Let's get to our showcase because we got spoilers. Two characters, so those are going to take up a little bit of time, especially one of them.
I did a character too. Shit.
Did you not remember your showcases?
I didn't even remember the showcases were a thing. How long has that been?
I mean, it's. I bet
I
you it's not
had
the first time because there's no notes. Be like, "Hey, agenda podcast is tonight. What are your showcases? You haven't written them down on the document yet."
no, I have it teed up.
All right, then. Go
Let's-
ahead and kick us off, then.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kick us off with my character then. Get this bad boy out of the way, and by bad boy I mean a very good boy who works with the Orange Star Infantry. That's the word I'm looking for. Andy, our good friend Andy
Oh
from
man, I miss
Advanced
him.
Wars.
Shame he's dead.
Well, he did get an untimely release with an Advanced Wars reboot
Multiple
on Switch.
times, man.
Yeah.
That game is
Mhm.
cursed.
It is. I mean, I'm almost surprised it ever came out, but hooray, it did. Um, Surely that means Advance Wars is back, and they're going to make a official sequel, right? No, probably not.
Nah. No, unlike
One and
Famicom
done.
Detective Club, it's not getting a sequel.
That is so bizarre. Yeah, who is Emio? That was that marketing was almost too good because it kind of supersisted past the brand power of Famicom Detective Club.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. But yes, Andy is the CO for Orange Star, the commanding officer. He is an anime protagonist, basically an excitable, handy kid who operates often in his artwork with a couple of wrenches or out of a tank. So here, we have him in his tank, Bowser Jr. style, kind of, which I know is probably not the way you would approach it, which is also why I
Nope.
approached it this way. I was like, okay, let's try this, and then leave the ground open to other interpretations if other people wanted to try it. So, as these showcases go, we're going to go from the top of the entrance all the way through. So, blast through a few of these things. The entrance animation, Andy is already on stage, tending to his Orange Star tank with his wrench and a hand towel. And noticing the action is about to begin, he shouts, "Yaha!" while leaping into the tank, something people often do. Kirby, he gets Andy's hair and holds a little wrench in one of his hands.
Ah!
Yeah. Taunts. Up taunt, Andy throws both of his wrenches into the air and catches them, wildly smirking and snickering. Down taunt, Andy shoves both hands down on the sides of his tank and leaps into the air, shouting wahoo while sticking his legs out. And his side taunt, Andy points forward, proclaiming, "Feel the strength of Orange Star." Or, "I haven't even cranked the engine yet."
Okay, I have to pause here. Feel the strength of Orange Star sounds like a tagline you would hear in a 90s commercial for either an energy drink or just a new fancy fruit juice that they're trying to get kids to think is hip and cool.
Yeah, yeah. And those are not game quotes. I just I love the anime esque characters where you can choose this extremely cheesy thing. These one liners, and it's like, yeah, that fits. Victory poses, those things.
Yeah.
Number one, a sweaty Andy says "whew" and stands beside his tank, wiping his brow off with a gas stained towel as he screws something tight with his wrench. To clarify, on the tank,
Oh, that's good to know.
like a bolt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Number two, Andy barrels forward in his tank until he's off screen, pointing and laughing the whole way, with a never-ending battalion of infantry marching behind him. And number three, Andy pops out of his tank and holds both wrenches over his shoulders, excitedly shouting, "Good job, just not as good as me."
That has the same energy as call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's get into into the special moves. And again, these are all operated from the tank, so it's like a mini version of the tank moving around the stage. Number one, the standard specials, infantry and mechs, a callback to the assist trophy. Uh, Andy points forward and shouts, "Go, Orange Star!" A single infantryman or mech, and all of their 32-bit glory, is summoned directly in front of Andy's tank and begins a forward march. The soldier might be wielding a standard rifle or bazooka, and depending on what weapon he is wielding, his attack strength will vary. The rifle dishes out fast-moving bullets that deal minimal damage, but are very adept at making opponents flinch in place for paces at a time. The bazooka deals much more considerable damage, but at the expense of being a slower moving move with larger ammo that can be knocked down or deflected. Andy can summon up to 3 units at once. They can be KO'd. Side special, bikers. 2 GBA style bike units appear on either side of Andy's tank. Tethered to the tank, they barrel forward together, making a pace similar to Ike's quickdraw, both in speed and distance covered. The tape tying the bikes to the tank will break at the move's apex, and the bikers will continue driving forward for a few seconds before disappearing themselves. Throughout their presence on stage, they'll be shooting from Gatling guns present on their vehicles, dealing a consistent spray of damage to anyone caught in their wake, like Sheik's needles. Even once they've left Andy, they'll continue shooting until they've disappeared. Something well-timed and powerful can knock the bikers out, spinning them out, and causing Andy's tank to also spin out. He'll spin haphazardly around with smoke appearing from out of the top of the tank, and he rushes to work on it with his wrenches until he fixes it a few moments later. Question?
Question. Yeah. Are they pulling the tank forwards?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Otherwise, like I could not figure. I was like, why are they tethered to the tank? I'm
Yep.
use. Okay. Okay.
Up special battlecopter. An Orange Star helicopter, roughly the same size as Andy's tank, appears overhead, pulling Andy straight up. The copter's blades deal consistent cutting damage. If it is attacked during its rise up, it might veer one direction or the other, but the player is able to steer it as well as they can. Ultimately, it travels as far as the Solid Snake's cipher before letting up. The tank will swing back and forth, more so if it is hit or the copter is hit during the move, and affect the copter's travel as they swing back and forth. This dishes out damage. Enough hits will see the move backfire with the copter exploding and Andy free falling back towards the ground. The explosion dishes out considerably more damage and knockback. The copter defends itself and Andy, though, with fast-moving machine guns attached on either side of it. The guns hone in on the nearest opponent, blasting them with heavy artillery that can deal considerable damage. Down specialist capture. Andy effectively captures terrain. So in Advanced Wars, you capture different buildings and different landmarks, and that terrain effectively becomes the country that you're serving's area. So it expands the area that you're in, and it color like it for Orange Star, it'll color the area orange. Andy effectively captures terrain, throwing an Orange Star flag down that colors the area surrounding his tank orange. Suddenly, a skyscraper roughly the size of Ridley erects itself underneath Andy. This not only provides Andy with an additional platform to leap from, somewhat compensating for his very poor jumps, but acts as a barrier between himself and opponents when used at an opportune time. With enough damage dealt to it, the skyscraper will come tumbling down. If left alone, it will eventually become neutral again, turning gray before folding back into the earth from whence it came. The skyscraper might also fall over in a manner similar to Villager's tree, causing considerable damage to those with which its fall connects with. Final smash. Heavy upgrade. The camera zooms in on Andy as a character strip with his official artwork spreads across the screen. With a glint in his eye, Andy shouts, "Orange Star, give him your best." So oh my gosh. Suddenly, the bottom of the screen fills with shallow 32-bit water as battleships and cruisers appear beyond the foreground, honing in and shooting at all opponents present on stage with rapid-fire missiles. Bomber jets fly overhead, dropping bombs from the sky that fall down on parachutes and produce devastating explosions on contact. Additionally, a Neo tank and a Mega tank will appear on the far side of either side of the stage, shooting out shells on a diagonal. The entire stage effectively becomes covered in a spread of Orange Star bullets and artillery, with explosions abound. This is a tough-to-dodge final smash. Andy stays in place during the movement and dances with both of his wrenches in his hands, too excited about proceedings to participate himself.
Okay. I like that. Like with Andy's moveset, you're using. I don't know if there's anything that was missed because I have not looked at anything Advanced Wars really still, but it feels like every type of unit is represented here.
Right, and that's very much intentional. Like if he's going to be a summoning unit, essentially, then go all out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We're almost there. His extra skill is hyper repair. Andy grabs a wrench and begins getting to work, leaning over and screwing something back into place on his tank. It begins healing a percent of damage per second. I don't know if that might be updated to be a little more. As time progresses, more damage will be healed in a shorter amount of time. Okay. Andy breaks both wrenches out at the 3-second mark, healing 2% damage per second. After 6 seconds, it will heal 5% damage per second. After 10 seconds, it will heal 8% damage per second. After 15 seconds, it will heal 10% damage per second. There's no super armor associated with the move. Just swat him and he'll stop.
Jesus.
Yeah. um, unique traits. There's a lot here. Because, as aforementioned, Andy is constantly operating from inside of his Orange Star tank while on the battlefield. The tank has tough body to a higher degree than Bowser or Kazuya, making a certain damage and knockback threshold to be met before he can be moved or flinch from an attack. When he crouches or uses his shield, he hides inside of his tank, closing the lid over himself. He is totally incapable of swimming, and his jumping capabilities are not so great either. The tank is larger than Bowser Jr.'s Super Clown Car, standing about as tall as Bowser and about as wide as him, a little wider. So this is a heavy character because he's in the tank. His alt costumes are all based on different, armies in the game. So like Blue Moon, Green Earth, Yellow Comet, Black Hole, 12th Battalion, New Ribbenell Army, Lazurian Army, Intelligent Defense Systems, and Bandit Raiders. So yeah, go check out the page if you want to hear about the colors of the tank. And last but not least, his home stage is Orange Star HQ, which is not yet on the wiki.
Shame.
Well, that's that.
That's that. So with my
That
first
was
showcase. No, if you have a comment.
no, I'm sorry. That was good. No wonder we don't do characters that often because that was a mouthful. Good
Oh,
lord.
if you think you had to say a lot, you should feel bad for me coming up.
Yeah, this is how it usually goes.
Oh yeah. So what if I told you that with my character showcase here, I have taken Kirby's Kirby Hat mechanic and I've made it simpler and more
Oh.
complicated. Vastly
No,
more complicated.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, allow me to give you my boy from Final Fantasy VIII. It's Squall Leonhardt.
You're gonna okay, give me your boy.
Oh, yes. So, I think we'll, enter into things. So, Squall will just simply walk out onto the stage and draw his gunblade off of his back with a single swing of his blade before setting into his well-trained combat stance. It's the exact same animation when a battle starts in Final Fantasy VIII. Makes sense. Kirby Hat. Kirby has Squall's hair on top of his head, as well as Squall's scar placed over his face. For the taunts, for his up taunt, Squall will run his hand through his hair and say, "Let's get this over with." For his down
Let's get
taunt,
this over with.
Squall will twirl his gunblade in front of him before resting on his shoulder and slightly cocking his hip to the side, similar to his pose in the official art for the Dissidia games. His side taunt will have Squall scoff and look away before muttering, "Whatever."
Whatever.
For the victory poses, the first one, Squall will walk up to the middle of the screen where a draw point is found and bend down next to it as he holds his hand towards it, attempting to draw out the magical energies inside of it. After a moment, a Final Fantasy VIII style text box will appear over the screen saying, "Squall stalked 8 silences." 8 for Final Fantasy VIII. Silence because Squall often has his own internal monologue and is famously known for telling somebody to go talk to a wall.
Yeah.
For the second victory pose, Squall will swing his gunblade twice in front of him before resting on his shoulder, turning around and walking away from the screen saying, "I can take care of myself." Very similar to when he wins the battle in Final Fantasy VIII. Actually, that might actually be the Dissidia victory animation, possibly. I don't remember for sure. It's been a while since I wrote this. But for the third victory pose, Squall will clutch his head as if having a headache before shaking his head to try and clear his mind. As this happens, Squall will say, "I dreamt I was a moron." And if you know Final Fantasy VIII, you know what that's referring to. So,
Oh, yeah. I just clicked on the other submission you have linked there and figured it out.
yep, because 8 has like a split narrative of sorts that goes on, involving some characters from the past. That's all I'll say
Yeah.
about that, because it's spoilers. For the moveset, it's going to start pretty simple. We're pulling from Limit Breaks, kind of like how Cloud pulls from Limit Breaks. So, standard special is Renzo Kukin. Squall will swing his gunblade downwards in front of him at great speed, and if nothing was hit by the strike, then the attack will end there. If the attack did hit through a hit, though, then the player can then have Squall strike with up to 3 more rapid slashes, so long as they continue to hit something with each slash. When Squall is taking a high amount of damage or is at a disadvantage in terms of number of stocks, this combo attack can gain up to 4 additional slashes for a grand total of 8. But, as before, each slash must hit something in order for the next slash to be possible. Our side special is
Nice.
Blasting Zone. Squall will raise his gun blade up high above his head as golden energy swirls around the blade. When the input is let go, Squall will swing his gunblade downwards, causing a pillar of orange explosive energy to rise up from the ground and stretch up into the air. If the input is held down, then Squall will create up to 5 pillars of energy, one after the other, proceeding in a line in front of him. Opponents who are hit by this attack will be dragged forward through each consecutive beam, and opponents who were aerial when they were struck will end up being dragged closer and closer to the ground with each energy beam that they are hit by. Our up special is Rough Divide. If he's on the ground, Squall will leap up slightly in the air and draw his blade close to him as he gathers blue energy around it. Moments later, Squall will dash through the air in the direction the control stick is pointing, up by default, ready to slash his blade through whatever is in his path. If used while already in the air, then Squall will not jump slightly and will just hang in the air for a moment. If Squall runs into an opponent while using the special, he will halt his momentum when he reaches them and slash upwards with his sword, knocking his opponent higher up into the air. Our down special is Faded Circle. Squall will spin in place and swing his gunblade around him, and for a moment it will seem like that's all that happens. But then a series of small explosions will burst out around Squall right where the tip of his gunblade ripped through the air, damaging anything around him with explosive force. These explosions are all treated as one attack, so fighters do not get hit by multiple explosions, as it all has one source. Squall is capable of slightly altering the angle of its attack by tilting the control stick during the initial gunblade swing. When used on the ground, the tilt is pretty slight. It may not change a whole lot, but when used in the air, Squall is able to tilt its attack in roughly a 30-degree angle. For our final smash, we have Squall's ultimate limit break, Lionheart. Squall will charge forwards and swing his gunblade upwards to send the first opponent he runs into to the centered top of the screen, much like Greninja and a couple of the characters. From here, Squall will leap up into the air to be next to his opponent before unleashing a combo of 15 strikes from his gunblade as he slashes them from all directions. After the 15th slash, Squall will charge up blue energy in his gunblade before flying and slashing through his foe one final time in a straight line, going diagonally up through his foe. A moment later, an explosion will erupt out along the line that Squall just slashed, damaging both his opponent and any other fighter who was on that line. Now, I said we were doing a complicated but simple version of Kirby's mechanics, so where is it?
Very
Welcome.
simple. That's quite a good move set. Very
Yeah,
representative. All
yeah.
better now.
If
Hold on.
only it ended here. Welcome to
Yeah, I
the
scrolled
extra
down to this
skill,
extra skill, and I was like,
which
oh.
is longer than all the
Then the
rest
entire move set.
combined.
Like, oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah. This is called Draw Cast Junction. So let me explain a little bit about how Final Fantasy VIII's magic system works. There are draw points in the game, which I mentioned in the victory animation, which is one of two ways that you acquire, or I guess one of three ways that you acquire magic in the game. There's that, and then these points will recharge over time, and then you can get more spells out of them, and you get more amounts of the spells based on how high your, I think it's your luck stat, if I remember correctly. Or
Mhm.
when in battle, you can draw a list of specific options of magic from your opponents. So the Grat enemy can offer you the Sleep spell, while other enemies will offer you Berserk, or Fire, or Aura. Actually, I'm not sure if you can get Aura from a monster, but maybe. Some bosses even have summons that you have to draw out of them. And then the third way is to take advantage of card modification, where you can turn cards into spells. But that's not involved here. Instead, we're going to be focusing on the drawing magic from monsters. Allow me to explain. With this extra skill, depending on if Squall has a spell or not currently drawn, it will do one of three different things. If he does not have a spell already drawn, then the next choice is draw. When it's first activated, Squall will hold his gunblade horizontally in front of him and concentrate on the magic within. If an opponent is within melee range of Squall, they will be stopped momentarily before a glowing blue orb flies out of them and into Squall's gunblade. This will result in Squall having drawn a spell out of his opponent's body and stocked it within his own. The exact spell that Squall draws from the opposing fighter is not random and is determined by who that fighter is. Each fighter will give Squall a specific spell, and the same spell can be received by multiple characters. That's where it's simpler than Kirby. Some
Yeah.
examples, but this is not a full list of either spells nor characters of what spells Squall can get are as follows. Squall can get the Fire spell from Mario, Luigi, and Charizard. Blizzard from Ice Climbers, Vanillix, and Polar Bear. Thunder from Pikachu, Juro Kurabe, and Travis Touchdown. Isuna from Rosalina, Isabelle, and Wii Fit Trainer. Cure from Rhea, Andy, and Alphina. Reflect from Fox McCloud, Mallow, and Greninja. Holy from Palutena, Melia, and Makoto Naegi. Scan from the Savvy Stylist, 2B, and Psycho Mantis. Float from Pit, Spyro, and King Boo. And Meltdown from Pablo Sanchez, Rex, and Mega Man.exe. Once Squall has drawn a spell from another fighter, he can then choose to either cast that spell or junction it. Casting a spell just requires the player to press the extra skill after having drawn the spell to immediately cast it. You do not have to cast it immediately after drawing, just to clarify. It's kind of like a Villager's Pocket. Some spells can be cast multiple times, while others can only be cast once, and depends on the general strength and usefulness of that spell. Each character that would give the same spell will also give the same amount of uses of that same spell. When casting each of these spells, Squall will place his hand up to his forehead and then point his palm forwards to release the spell. Using the same example of spells above, here are what those previous spells mentioned can do. But again, this is not an exhaustive list of all the spells Squall would have access to. I just didn't want to write down every single one because hell. So, fire. Squall sends a small fireball hurtling through the air that does damage on contact. Blizzard. A misshapen crystal of ice will appear suspended in the air a short distance above and in front of Squall, and after a moment passes, it'll fall straight down and crash into whatever's below. Thunder. A sparkling point of electricity will appear shortly above and in front of Squall. After a moment passes, a bolt of lightning will shoot out from this orb in a downwards diagonal line. Isuna. Squall will be surrounded by a purplish-blue aura as magical lines of energy raise up around him from the ground. When the spell is cast, Squall is instantly recovered from any negative status condition, such as being poisoned, slowed, or having his stats lowered. Cure. A sparkle of blue light will spiral around Squall's body as he's healed 10% damage. Reflect. A half shell of green energy will manifest around Squall, giving him the protection of the Reflect spell. Within the next 6 seconds, the first projectile attack that hits Squall will be redirected towards its user. Holy. A group of white orbs filled with holy light will appear to point a couple character distances away from Squall, where they compact together and explode, dealing radiant damage to all opponents nearby. Scan. An orange targeting reticle will appear in front of Squall before tracking the position of the nearest enemy in front of Squall and attempting to fly in home in on them. If this reticle manages to make contact, it will attach itself to Squall's opponent. For the next 7 seconds, any attack that Squall makes on that opponent will deal an increased amount of damage. Float. A white aura will surround Squall's feet as ethereal wings briefly appear behind him. For a short time, Squall will no longer be running on the ground and will instead float a short distance above it. This allows Squall to evade ground-based traps such as the Pitfall item and the Motion Sensor Bomb. Meltdown. This is an interesting one. A Thoron-sized laser appearing to be made out of solar energy will quickly fire out from Squall. This laser deals a moderate amount of damage and knockback, but most importantly, it ignores any additional defensive measures that a fighter might employ, such as shielding, Fox's Reflector, the back shield item, and even passes through moves that increases your defensive stats, such as Shulk's Monado arts. Meltdown don't care about your vitality. Finally, If you instead choose to not cast a spell, but instead want to junction it, then you just need to hold down the button for your extra skill as a radial menu will appear similar to Shulk's Minato Arts. And it will have options of strength, vitality, special, speed, and jump. Strength increases damage and knockback of Squall's normal, aerials, tilt, and smash attacks. Vitality will increase Squall's resistance to all forms of damage. Special will increase the damage and knockback of Squall's special moves and spells cast with its extra skill. Speed will increase Squall's movement speed. Jump increases Squall's jumping height, as well as the distance for Rough Divide. Each junction will only last for a limited amount of time, and the strength of the junction is determined by the spell and how many uses of that spell that Squall has left. Only one stat can be junctioned to at any time, unlike in Final Fantasy VIII. So if you try to junction a second spell to any stat, it will override the previous junction. Each spell will also provide varying bonuses to the different stats, so some spells will be better when junctioned with specific stats. And a list of examples for that is as follows. Fire is best for strength and worst for vitality. Blizzard is best for strength, but worst for speed. Thunder is best for special, but worst for jump. Isuna is best for vitality, but worst for speed. Cure is best for vitality, but worst for jump. Reflect is best for vitality, but worst for strength. Holy is best for special, but worst for speed. Scan is best for speed and worst for jump, or strength, sorry. Float is best for jump, as it fucking should be, and worst for special. And Meltdown is best for strength, but worst for speed. Woo!
Okay.
Unique traits. Hey, Squall can wall jump. Cool. Simple. Nice.
And you can do
And
the
then,
duck.
no, stop that. Alternate costumes wise, Squall has recolors of his standard mercenary outfit and his siege uniform based on Cloud, a couple characters from 8, different types of soldiers, and Seed from 8 as well. And then his home stage is Bayland Garden, and I have not decided yet if it will be a touring stage of inside Bayland Garden or a touring stage where Bayland Garden is driving across the world. One of the two.
Nice. Excellent. Wee. Good lord. Awesome.
Yep. That took a lot out of me.
No, I bet. Okay. Well, there's our characters. I'm sure we'll do this again right away. Right now.
Yep. Next showcase. What you got? Who's your second character?
Oh my gosh. Okay. My second character, you may ask?
Yeah, who's your second character?
Well, my friend. It is Fox.
But he's in Smash.
I know. And he will be again.
What?
Here's an assist trophy.
What?
Yeah. You know the lovable furry guy?
I mean, I don't think I would call him lovable. He can be a kind of a jerk sometimes. Just ask Crystal.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah, he could be cursed.
Yeah.
But not that fox. The fox is from the island of Tsushima.
What?
You made foxes your friends during your adventures as Jinsakai in Ghost of Tsushima. So, here they are once again as an assist trophy for you. They won't be guiding you to Inari shrines in Smash, but they will be helping you in new and exciting ways. Including... So, when a fox appears on the battlefield, this is literally a fox. It's a real-life canine.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's from Ghost of Tsushima. So when a fox appears on the battlefield, it leaps playfully into the air and wiggles to and fro while wagging its tail, just like I do most weekends. It then gets to work, running and leaping around the stage. The fox is its summoner's guardian and will do everything in its power to protect them. So it's it's generally friendly, but if the summoner is attacked, the fox will leap towards their opponent and attack them in a flurry of bites and tackles that each deal moderate, quickly stackable damage. Otherwise, the fox will work on gathering items for its summoner. The fox will bring grabbable items to its summoner and can even use items like the beam sword if its attack phase is triggered. So imagine a real life fox jumping towards you and attacking you with a beam sword.
Considering we have
Um,
foxes in my neighborhood right now, yeah, I can imagine that.
yeah, excellent. And if the fox runs into an item like the Starman or Dash Food, its effects will immediately begin working on the summoner and the fox. So, there we go.
This gives me an idea for a spirit battle of the fox from Persona 4.
There
More
you go. Why
possibly on
not?
that in our next Smashtopia. Who knows? We'll
And the
see.
Lowland Ninetales will be there.
No, the Ninetales wouldn't be there. Well, maybe. Think about it. I was thinking Fox McCloud, but you know what? The Ninetales actually could work. All right. Well, the last showcase of this episode, you mentioned already, it's Dash Food. Although Dash Food
Dash
wouldn't.
Food. The hell
Well,
is that?
Dash Food is from Super Mario Mario Kart World. Titles, words, they make sense. So Dash Food is a brand new item to Mario Kart World that you find at the Yoshi's drive-through restaurant. A
Yoshi's
racer
Right.
drives through, they pick up the item if they have an open item slot as a racer, and when they use it, they will not only gain a speed boost, but if you are playing as a character that has alternate costumes in Mario Kart World,
Yeah.
then it will unlock one of those costumes for you, assuming it's the correct one. Because each Dash Food location provides specific costumes, and not every character has a costume for each location, which is sad, but
Right.
that's how these work. So,
Right.
so with this item, we're doing something similar. So, Dash Food will spawn on the stage just like any other item, with really only one key exception. Only one Dash Food item can spawn per match. When a fighter picks up the Dash Food item, they will be healed 20% damage and change their alternate costume to a special, unlockable one. If the fighter was being controlled by a human player, the costume will be permanently unlocked after the fighter can or after the match and can be selected from the character select screen like any other alt. Compared to Mario Kart World, these special alternate costumes do not have anything to do with what food was in the Dash Food, nor what stage they were fighting on. Some of these unlockable costumes are based on other characters from a character series. Some are based on characters from other video game franchises. And some costumes are even based on things outside of video games. As an example, we have a lot of them on the page for Dash Food, but I'm only going to list 5 just for the sake of time. Yes. So, first of all, I will mention that all these alternate costumes were actually created by Kelly Jelly. And he made them just on his own, on a whim, and just shared them in the Super Cash Brothers Discord server that we have. And when they revealed Dash Food for Mario Kart World, I had an idea. And I was like, hey, Kelly, I want to make the Dash Food into an item, and I want to use your alternate costumes to be the costumes that are
Oh,
unlocked by
right.
this item.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
anything that Kelly has made as a costume that he's put in the Smashtopia, the Super Cash Brothers channel, is a costume for the Dash Food item. And as 5 examples I have on here, we have Tiki dressed as Maya Fey from the Ace Attorney games. We
Yeah.
also have Big Man dressed as Phantom Manta from Super Mario Sunshine. We also have Ninja Bread Man, who is made to look like a Hershey's cookies and cream bar. Personally, one of my favorites he did. It's like, that is so
That's
silly
awesome.
that I love it.
Yeah.
We also have Iroh from Avatar, dressed up as King Harkinian from the CDI's Legend of Zelda games. And then what I think might be my personal favorite of all of the alts that Kelly has created for us, I have for you Master Chief, made to look like Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. It
Yeah.
is fucking perfect. For any audio listeners out there, I I I actually would highly recommend going to the Smashtopia wiki, looking for the item dashboard, and scrolling down to see the gallery of alts that Kelly has created and that are being used in this item because they are so
Definitely.
good.
Definitely. Definitely.
I could list all of them, but for the sake of time, in fact, we're already nearly an hour through this podcast. I'm not going to.
Well,
But
well.
god damn, they're good.
Hmm. They are. They are. Oh my gosh. And a lot of them are showcased in the Dash Root item page.
All of them are.
All of them. Oh, well, just go there.
Yeah, that's why I was saying to go there. Literally,
Yeah.
all of them
Oh,
are.
oh, the Master Chief. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
even the new ones that he posted, like after I put this page up, I added them on. And anytime he adds
Mhm.
more to the Discord page, I'm adding them in.
Good. I'm glad that there's a place they can live.
Yes.
Hmm.
All right. Well, Jonno, shall we go ahead and get into the actual topic of the day?
I think so.
Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes. Not Rick Wheeler? My
No,
God.
no. It's Rayman. We're finally making moves for him. Boy, it was so weird. Smash 4 gave us trophies for Rayman and Glowbox, and that was the only. I
Hmm.
think and Patilla, but yet there's no Rayman character or stage or assist trophy in that game. It's fucking weird. But now here we are. We're
Really.
making a moveset for Rayman for Smash.
And here we are.
Here we
Hooray.
are. Here we are. I have one part in particular. I'm just like it may not be the pick, but I'm still looking forward to talking about it.
Oh boy.
Good sons.
Rayman is a very, very effervescent character. There's going to be opportunity. When I was talking like through Andy's quotes earlier, I was like, this could also be something Rayman says.
Yeah, like there's a lot of wackiness in Rayman, both the
Yeah,
world and the character.
definitely,
Like
definitely. It's just cool.
one thing I had to figure out was like Mega Man. Everybody thought Mega Buster would be the standard special, right? I was like, okay, but then it became the side smash. So I was thinking that with Rayman, it's like, okay, he's got the telescopic fist, he also got the magic fist. Are they standard special? Are they side smash like Mega Man? I don't
Mhm.
know. I had to
Me either.
think about that when coming up with my stuff.
Yeah,
Ultimately, I made a
yeah.
decision, and we'll get to that.
We will. We will indeed.
All right, so let's kick things off with our entrance animations. Jono, what do you have?
A ring pop, which is really weird to eat on camera. It looks weird.
Let's be honest, Jono. Ring pops look weird to eat whether you're on camera, off camera, with friends, alone, no matter what. Eating a ring pop looks weird.
You're right. So, entrance animations.
Please.
For my stage entrance for the one and only Rayman. Rayman drops to the stage in a cool, almost superhero landing, looking downwards with his legs spread. A moment later, though, he drops the facade and starts smiling broadly at the camera, and like this little shine effect shimmers around him while he's shouting, "Yeah!" or "Yay!" or "Yahoo!"
All right. For mine, I looked a little bit into Rayman lore, and I found out that in every one of Rayman's games, you start out with Rayman asleep, and then he wakes up. So, my interest animation is that Rayman will be sitting on the ground asleep before suddenly waking up and leaping up to his feet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, mine was taken from Legends, Origins, and some of the later games where he has even more personality.
Oh, yeah.
So most of the stages are they start with something very similar to that. But I don't see why. I like the sleeping too. I don't see why we can't use that. And it might be something we can shop in similar way to how we have in the past. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll just send you my notes on that, and we'll see.
All right.
Yep.
Kirby hat.
Uh, hair like Rayman's.
Yeah, hair like Kirby will have Rayman's distinctive hair on top of his head. Yeah, easy. That
Mhm.
so so so
And he
so
grows a
done.
nose like Rayman's.
And he has glow box coming out of the side of his head.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so getting out of that stupidity, taunts. What's your first taunt?
Yeah. Okay. Rayman lifts one hand up in a peace sign, held towards the camera, cheesing real big while shouting, "Yeah, yeah."
So my third taunt is Raymond will
Mhm.
quickly turn to face the camera and flash his trademark peace sign towards the camera while grinning widely.
Oh well, I guess that's fast tracked.
Yep, that's why I said my third taunt. We're skipping ahead.
What's your second taunt?
Why don't you give us your second taunt first, bitch?
Oh, okay. Okay, Glowbox, my friend. Rayman hungrily chows down on a piece of food. Like in Rayman Adventures, the food resembles a chicken drumstick slathered in honey. You'll hear him making undignified sounds while he chows down.
All right. My second taunt is Raymond will take out his harmonica and play a quick couple notes on it. Apparently, Rayman's good with I think it's he's
Yeah,
skilled with multiple instruments. And in what is it, Brawl Hollow or what other the other fighting game that is that Rayman is in? They give him like I think his guitar for a taunt. I was like, we'll do the harmonica, make it different.
there you go. There you go. Nice. Um, I have something Rayman would want.
Was it a cheeseburger?
Yes, a harmonica in the key of C. You probably didn't even hear that.
Did not.
That can go right over my head. Wear it as a necklace.
All right.
Yes. Rayman plays with his limbless affects, dribbling his torso with his hands and spinning his torso, hands, and feet around like Sukapan.
So he's juggling his body.
Yes.
Creepy. For my final taunt, and also my first taunt, Murphy will fly out from behind Rayman and give Rayman a quick high five.
Nice. Good old Murphy.
Good
Mayhap
old
hero.
Murphy. I realized what I've done,
What a
and
guy.
I'm moving on. Uh, your first victory pose, Jonno.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Yeah. My my victory pose. Um Rayman performs a serious flip onto the screen, grimacing for a moment like box art American Kirby, before a disco ball drops and he begins performing his classic hands up, raise the roof celebration dance.
What game is that from? Because I don't remember that.
Again, at least Legends and Origins, others as well.
Okay. Because the only
Yeah.
Legends or Origins, whichever one it is, level clear animation I remember is Rayman will
Hmm.
pose behind a cardboard cutout of a buff man. Rayman will end up accidentally knocking over the cutout and grin awkwardly towards the camera as his true body is revealed.
I can relate. Um, nice. Rayman busts out his purple V guitar from Rayman Legends and Brawlhalla, sliding towards the screen like a rock star while blaring out a gnarly guitar riff.
For my second one, Rayman will fly onto the results screen with his helicopter hair. As he does
Mhm.
so, Rayman will crash into Murphy, who is also flying around, before landing on the ground and waving a peace sign at the camera.
Nice. Good old Murphy. I liked Murphy a lot. Um, Very hospitable character.
Not in 3, he's
Rayman
not.
and
He's a prick in 3.
Yeah. Rayman and Glowbox are on screen together. Glowbox is not coming out of Rayman's head
That's good.
like a yeah. He's just kind of he's there like himself. So Rayman and Glowbox are on screen together, performing a secret handshake that consists of at least one low five, two high fives, uh, making the bird up into the air, and a belly bump. The two will make some gleeful noises while doing so, ending with a high five.
All right. And for my final victory pose, we end as we begin. Rayman will be lying down in a hammock, sleeping and snoring loudly.
Nice.
The duality of Rayman Origins, man. God damn it. God damn it.
The duality of man, indeed, of Rayman. Well, here we are. Those are all good. So now we got to do the usual thing and
Yep.
Figure it out. As a
We do.
reminder, we are fast forwarding the yeah with the peace sign because we both have
Yes.
it.
Be sure to send me those notes though, because I don't have the yeah in there, and I want to make sure I add it.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I will.
All right.
Um, so what are we doing here? You got a harmonica and
Mm-hmm.
Murphy flying with a high five
Yep.
as your taunts. I have him eating the nasty honey chicken thing and spinning in odd and unusual ways. Um, we have the victory poses, the disco with the hands up dance, the guitar, Rayman and Glowbox for me. You have the buff man cardboard cutout, which we are fast tracking, as well as the fly onto the screen crash with Murphy and sleeping in a hammock. So, where to begin
First of all, I think
besides
we.
fast tracking buff man?
First of all, I
Okay.
think we drop sleeping in the hammock. The other
Okay.
ones are more dynamic and interesting.
I was gonna say like it's good, but we don't need it twice necessarily when the others are strong.
Right. And then whether it's the taunt or the victory pose, I would like to have Murphy in there.
Agreed. Agreed.
Can you explain this chicken
Yeah.
thing to me?
Yes. So, let me pull up the wiki page I got this from. Adventures. Okay, so that is what it is. There's a Legends offshoot called Rayman Adventures that was around for a few years after Legends was released, and it is a platforming game like Origins and Legends. In it, you often come across food that heals you, and the food is usually a weird, like a bumpy fried chicken drumstick that looks like it's been slathered in honey or some sort of other substance. And then he eats it and he's happy.
What game was this?
Rayman Adventures.
Adventures.
Adventures. Um,
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's a Legend spinoff. Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Um, let's see. Murphy. Where to put Murphy? Hmm. Where would you put Murphy? What are your thoughts on that?
It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
The taunt one is like it's quick, it's easy. Like he high fives Murphy in the games. The victory pose is more of an amusing fly crash into Murphy, and then he just kind of like goes spinning out. Rayman lands down and then does the peace sign again.
Yeah, for sure. Um, we could always. What if you highlight both of Rayman's friends in the victory and you do the Glowbox one and the Murphy one?
Can do that.
Because otherwise, we have the guitar, which we don't necessarily need. If we can highlight Rayman's musical talents on the harmonica
Mm-hmm.
as a taunt, um, which leaves us with the food or the weird limb thing.
I would go with the food
Okay.
because we could do the limb
In that
thing if we
case,
ever make a Sukapon moveset.
very true. So there you go.
There
There
we
you go.
go.
You want to do the usual quick review. For taunts, he's going to hold up a peace sign and say, yeah, while smiling. He's going to eat the chicken drumstick, and he's going to play harmonica. For victory poses, Rayman is going to hang out with Murphy and stumble into him, give him a high five. He's going to do his secret handshake with Glowbox, and he is going to hide behind the facade of a buff man before that facade falls over and reveals his spindly form.
Yep. Excellent.
Cheers.
All right. Time to enter into the moveset, the crux of it all. These special moves. Jonno, what do you have for your standard special?
Yes. For my standard special, I have the magic fist of Rayman.
Hmm.
Yes, where Rayman shoots his fist out at moderate distance. Very traditional forward, punch. The move doesn't hit very hard, but it can go through multiple opponents and cause them to flinch. So it's just really, really fast, like no wind up. It's just launching out there. If you charge it for a bit, the Magic Fist becomes a blue punch as Rayman's Fist is covered with a blue boxing glove. The blue punch travels further and hits harder. And finally, and he's winding up his hand while he does this. Finally, if you take it to full charge on the windup, Rayman will use the red punch. You can tell that he is at full charge because he'll begin winding up both hands as his gloves become red. He throws them both out as far as Min Min's arms can reach, and they deal significant damage and knockback. Ta-da.
So one point of clarification, first of all, you said this move is called Magic Fist. Magic Fist is the projectile attack from Rayman 2. What you described as Telescopic Fist.
Oh, well, it's Telescopic Fist. Whoops.
And I'm glad you did Telescopic Fist because when I was looking at Telescopic versus Magic, I was like, Magic Fist is just throwing projectiles? Considering Rayman can throw his limbless limbs? No, Telescopic Fist, way more interesting. Standard special, Telescopic Fist. Rayman will wind up his fist before punching forward and sending his fist flying in front of him. It's the obvious choice.
Off.
Come on. If
Yeah,
you charge up the move, you'll be able to increase the damage and range of Rayman's fist. Any of Rayman's attacks that use this fist will be altered slightly to remove it, which depending on the attack may end up being weakened until Rayman's fist flies back and returns to him.
Oh, cool.
Additionally,
Okay,
if Rayman's fist is currently flying through the air, he will only be able to use one of his hands for his crawling hand special. What does that mean? We'll get there.
the fuck? Well, the standard special is easy enough. I have a feeling it'll be Telescopic Fist.
Yeah, I might be able to combine some of our notes together. We'll see. I think what you said, like charging it, is how it becomes blue and red, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to check the properties of both. But yeah,
Okay.
definitely it's Telescopic Fist, obviously. Fast track.
Yeah. Side special.
Mm-hmm.
My side special is Vortex. So Rayman quickly winds up his fist and summons a small tornado. Let's think about our friend Gust Bellows, but vertical. The vortex travels forward a distance before remaining in a place for a moment and then vanishing. Anyone caught in the vortex will be flung upwards and can also use the momentum of the vortex to be tossed diagonally left or right if they so choose. If you charge the move, the vortex will travel farther, but not grow in size. It deals light damage and is mostly a good keep-away move. Only one vortex can be on a stage at a time to avoid abuse of the move.
So what I will say is that Vortex was on my short list of moves. Mm-hmm. And then I thought of Crawling Hand.
He's going to become Glover.
Rayman's limbs canonically have their own sentience. And sometimes they'll go off and do whatever the hell they want. So, Rayman will throw one of his hands on the ground, causing it to quickly crawl along forwards of its own accord. If the hand, kind of like a thing from the Addams Family.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If the hand makes contact with an item, it will bring it back to Rayman, assuming Rayman doesn't currently have an item. Alternatively, if the hand makes contact with an opponent instead, the hand will leap on them and hold them in place for a second or two while it squeezes them to deal light damage before pushing them away and returning to Rayman. Rayman is able to throw about both of his hands with independent button presses. But if Rayman is without a hand, then some of his attacks that use them will be weaker, and if Rayman is without both of his hands, through the use of this special or Telescopic Fist, then he won't be able to do any move that requires his hands.
Okay. Interesting. I like that. All right. In the meantime. Up special helicopter here.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be surprised to get anything different. I think, like the standard special, the up special is kind of locked in. It's
this is this is more obvious than even the standard special had to be. Because again, we could have done Magic Fist, or you could have done Vortex even on standard special.
Right, right. But up special, helicopter hair. Rayman spins his hair like a helicopter and ascends. This is a free flight move where he can move with some give in any direction. Once he hits the full length of time that he can use the move, he will begin to free fall, although he can cancel out of the move at any time beforehand. His hair has a small weak hitbox that can deliver multiple very light hits at a time, kind of bring the opponent upwards.
I think ours are the exact same, but for the sake of things, I'll still read it. I did consider if I should make mine be like just like a straight vertical up, but I was like, nah, let's go with the flight. So with super helicopter is what I called it. Rayman's
Yeah.
hair will start to spin above his head like helicopter blades as he lifts off into the air. Using the special grants Rayman a degree of free flight, as you're able to adjust his flight path by tilting the control stick in all directions, including
Mhm.
back down, so long as you continue to hold down the special input. That said, Rayman can only fly for a short amount of time, and the further away you tilt the control stick from straight up, the less time Rayman will be able to fly. During his flight, the top of Rayman's head is able to damage opponents on contact as they are hit by his rapidly spinning hair. Luckily for them, the damage is minimal.
Yeah. I think it is literally the same.
Yeah.
So, okay, great.
Like I have a little bit of extra detail on like if you tilt the control stick away
Mhm.
from up, then his flight time is used up faster because it's taking more energy to fly direction other
Mhm.
than straight up. But beyond that,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Easy. You just insert it and you're good. It is the same.
mm-hmm.
Very good.
Down special though, I don't think we'll have the same thing, nor the final smash.
Me me either. Oh, we'll see. We'll see, but probably not. Um for my down special, I have the plum. Rayman from the earth, Rayman pulls out a giant plum. The plum is about as large as he is and rounder in circumference. Rayman can use the plum as a barricade, a platform, or a projectile item. Throw it downwards, and you can use it to bounce up to new heights. Throw it or hit it in any direction, and it could be the world's most dangerous soccer ball. Eventually, the plum will explode upon impact, dealing damage akin to a bomb explosion. Occasionally, pieces of the plum will remain on the stage and can be eaten by anyone to regain a small amount of health.
Okay. Definitely not what I went with, but I like it.
Okay.
So my down special is body shot, which comes from one of the I think it was one of the Game Boy games.
Mhm.
So with this move, Raymond will grab onto his floating torso and toss it straight down, meteoring below him. Raymond's torso will fall downwards for about two of his character heights before it starts flying back up towards Raymond and reattaching itself. Rayman's torso is capable of spiking opponents who are hit directly by it after it gets thrown downwards, but after the torso starts trying to return to Rayman, it will no longer spike, but will still inflict some damage, though reduced in comparison, to anyone it hits along the way.
That's
So it's
cool.
like a lot. It's like a lot of those down special where the character comes falling straight downwards, but
Mhm.
this one is sort of like no, he just throws something and he stays there, which is also it's like Mega Man's down aerial.
Mhm. Very interesting. That is that is very familiar, but also unique.
Mhm.
But to round it out, take us almost home before we get to extra skill anyway. My final smash is Mosquito Mayhem.
Okay, okay,
Back
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to yeah, call back to some of the earlier games with
And
Rayman's friend Bizit.
and Origins and Legends.
Yep. So Rayman calls in Bizit, who he jovially jumps onto, and kicks into him lightly like one might a horse to get him going. And he shouts, "Yay, hey!" and holds his arm up the air while doing so. This is a controllable final smash where you can fly around on Bizet while shooting energy balls at opponents and also suck them out with Bizit's big ol' proboscis nose thing. You can gain momentum by moving in one direction for a given time to have Bizet tackle into opponents. Tap a button to fire the light projectile, or hold it to have Bizet inhale opponents. He can hold onto them for a brief moment before powerfully spitting them back out, Kirby style. And you, as you sip upon the Coke of Dreams,
For my Final Smash, I'm gonna have to tell you its name after the fact, because if I say its name, it'll spoil it. So, Rayman will start up his Final Smash by winding up a big old punch, and then, simply put, let it loose to bash whoever is right in front of him. To Rayman's great shock, though, Glowbox will appear a short distance behind his opponent. While Rayman initially will be concerned, thinking he just caused his friend harm, his worry will soon turn to horror as he sees Glowbox open up his large mouth just in time for Rayman's foe to fly right into Glowbox's mouth and be swallowed alive. From there, we transition to a cinematic where the screen will be initially quite dark, with Rayman's opponent only
Oh
barely
my God.
visible. The click of a light bulb we heard after this, showing Andre the Black Lum holding the string to a light bulb, where he lets go and slams one fist into his hand. Andre will then fly towards the opponent and give them a series of good walloping punches before an uppercut sends them flying back out over Glowbox's stomach and out through his mouth as they fly towards the top of the screen and back into the field of battle. I call this Final Smash Andre Surprise.
Oh God.
This is the second thing. No, I guess second is the third thing I thought of because I was watching the
Oh my
Rayman games to
God.
get inspiration. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
obviously telescopic fist, obviously helicopter hair. Watching the rest the games just like to get inspiration, and seeing Glowbox swallow Andre and just like, constantly going back to Andre, showing Andre and Glowbox's belly. It's like I know the Final Smash. I know what I'm gonna do. This is it.
Oh my God. We'll get to it, and yeah, that's gonna end up being the final smash. That's definitely gonna end up being the final smash. God, it's out there, but there's a sense of there's something grounded. It's not like Dr. Mario sending you to the ER for real. It's not like
Glowbox
cranky,
literally
rabid
swallows
cranky.
Andre.
Yeah,
The only thing that's like kind of bullshit is like, okay, how's there a light bulb inside? It's like it's a Rayman game. It's fine.
doesn't matter. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Oh my God. Extra skills then.
Extra skills then.
Okay, my extra skills Murphy.
Oh,
Yeah.
mine's not.
Rayman calls upon the help of Murphy, who hovers around his head with a great big smile. Murphy will be Rayman's satellite and can perform several moves of his own volition while out on the field. Murphy's able to disable some stage hazards by turning them off or obstructing them with his glow or his body. He can tickle opponents hanging on a ledge, causing them to flinch and fall, and he will also naturally gravitate towards opponents and smack them, dealing light damage, and can also swat away most projectiles. He also gravitates towards items and yada yada. Before he leaves the stage, Murphy will give Rayman a high five. Murphy can only be summoned every have 30 seconds. There we go.
I have concerns with part like some of it's like, oh yeah, like basically flying around Rayman, like hitting opponents or pulling items closer. These things make sense in my brain. I'm trying to picture like how he would tickle opponents and like stop their movement. Maybe not that's the problem. More like stopping the stage acts. I'm trying to figure like how the AI would be doing this.
Mm-hmm. I also wondered the same. I was thinking like, oh, in adventure mode, he can flip a switch or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like I see what this is based
mm-hmm,
off of with Legends.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking about this, I'm gonna go into my extra skill. So you remember when I blew your mind with Cranky Kong and I brought out Rabbid Cranky
Mm-hmm.
from the Mario plus Rabbids games? So
Oh, Rabid Cranky returns in the extra skill.
from from the Rayman DLC of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, I give you Plunger Guard, which is Rayman's exclusive thing that he has in that DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So when this extra skill is activated, Rayman will pull out a Plunger Guard, which kind of pops out of a fake plum, funnily enough,
Yeah.
and he will be holding it in his hands. From here, the player can throw the Plunger Guard or just set it on the ground in front of Rayman. Once the plunger guard lands on the ground, it will open up and begin to fire out projectiles in a similar manner to the Killer Eye item. Unlike the Killer Eye, which fires out fast energy projectiles, the plunger guard fires out slower moving physical plungers. The plunger guard will fire at a consistent rate, and its plunger will begin to drop downwards after they travel a certain distance. Fighters who are hit by these plungers will be knocked back a fair distance and take damage as the plunger attaches itself to them, which will have the effect of
Mhm.
slowing their movement speed ever so slightly. Rayman can only have one plunger guard on the stage at a time, and attempting to create a second one will end up first destroying the old one before a new one will appear in Rayman's hands. The
Makes
plunger
sense.
guards will also disappear either after a set amount of time has passed, or they take enough damage from any attacks and get destroyed.
And it's a callback to the first Rabbids game too, because plungers were a big part of that.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very good. I did pull a little bit from Sparks of Hopes too for, I guess, spoilers, alternate costume ideas.
I did not.
Okay. Other skills. You want to mention that or get it for the hell
Oh,
of it?
wall jump.
Yeah, Rayman can glide and wall jump. He has an extra half jump that he mobilizes with his helicopter hair.
Okay, so yeah, sure,
If it's
extra jump.
necessary. Okay. Yeah, okay. There you go. Now to deliberate. So the standard is telescopic fist, and we will see if we can, uh, how we can, if possible,
Merge
mesh
it.
the moves together.
Yeah,
But they're more or less the same thing. And up special is the helicopter hair, or the super hair, or the super helicopter hair, or whatever we're going to call it.
yeah. I think
The
it has like multiple
spinning,
names in different games. So
yeah, the spinning mane of Rayman, the limbless hero.
yeah, that's a really long title that I'm not going to go with that one, but good option.
It's the up special. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, side special, down special, final smash. Oh, sorry. Final smash is the Glowbox Andre thing, obviously.
Andre Surprise. You see why I couldn't say the name up front?
Mm-hmm.
Because it would have
Mm-hmm.
spoiled the Andre
Yeah.
Surprise. Got him.
I just can't. That's great. That's great. That's one of the most innovative things you've come up with in a while.
What the fuck does that mean? I'm
It's
extremely
very
innovative. What
it's
did I
very
just do for Squall
interesting.
Leonhardt? Fuck you!
On the podcast. On the podcast with movesets.
I, you
Um
don't think it came with the innovative sit for Tingle?
Good old Tingle. I don't remember off the top of my head, honestly.
What about the meanest potion for Ashley?
Yeah,
Yeah,
off the
fuck
top of
you.
my head, I
Fuck
know
you.
what that is. I know what that is. Yes, I remember.
You don't. It's the final smash. That's all system mech involves the
Oh
potion coming alive
yeah.
and beating people up.
Oh right. Yeah, that was cool too. That was very interesting.
Yeah, fuck you. That was the last character we did.
Yeah. Who, Ashley?
Yes.
I like Ashley. Is a cool character.
Hate you.
Okay, so side special, down special, extra skill.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. I think the side special should be crawling hand.
Okay.
Thoughts to the contrary. Vortex is from Rayman games, but I think when you can come up with something that's non-canon and it fits the character, that's just as much fair game.
I mean,
And
here's the thing. It's
I
not
think, yeah,
non-canon. Rayman's hands
yeah,
do crawl on their own
that's
sometimes.
also
His
true. That's
feet
also true.
separate and he has to chase them. The whole Andre
Yeah,
exists because when Rayman was sleeping, his hands decided to wander off and put on a shadow puppet show, which scared a red lum, creating Andre.
yeah, right.
It's canon.
Um, yeah, exactly. Plus, Vortex can be Tornado Kirby's side special.
True.
So yeah, I think it's cool. What are you thinking for down special? Now, or do you want me to share my thoughts?
I certainly
Um,
have thoughts, but my first question is actually towards to extra skill.
okay.
What are you thinking there?
Um, let's see. I think a couple of things. I think plunger guard could easily work. Obvious, like it's an obvious turret move. Like there's no questioning that it would work in the scale of smash. So there you go. I also like the idea of engaging with Murphy. It was a big deal to have him in Legends, and there's a lot of Legends in this moveset between you and I. And glow boxes in the Final Smash, which now makes me feel like I kind of want to make Murphy be in the moveset too. But so those are my points to the Murphy move.
Okay.
Um, but if you are feeling strongly about plunger guard, that's also fine. Like we can debate it a little further.
Not like not debate strongly necessarily. More the fact that like there's a couple things with Murphy that I think need to be talked over.
Or checked. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But first of all, like Murphy being able to stop stage hazards, I don't think is workable. Unfortunately, like
Hmm.
while I love the inspiration behind it, like how things work with Legends, I don't think it works with Smash.
Right.
Uh, and not neither do I. Can you read the whole thing
Uh,
for me again? I want to refresh on that.
yeah. Or do you, okay. Yeah. Rayman calls upon the help of Murphy. Murphy hovers around Rayman's head like a satellite. He can perform several moves on his own throughout the field. He can. So I'm going to remove the stage treasure part. Forget about that. He can tickle opponents who are hanging on a ledge and cause them to fall. He will also naturally gravitate towards opponents and smack them, which deals light damage, and he can swat away most projectiles. Before he leaves the stage, Murphy will give Rayman a high five. Murphy can only be summoned every 30 seconds.
Do you mind if I make a
Yeah.
pitch? So,
Okay.
what if instead, I'm taking like the general concept and I'm tweaking the execution. Instead of having Murphy fly around Rayman's head, what if Rayman essentially places Murphy, not turret like, but like Murphy is like in the space in the air, and Murphy has like a general AoE range where he considers his territory, let's say. And if opponents are enter that range, the Murphy will fly towards them to smack them around, doing light damage, basically knocking them around. It's like, hey, no, this is my space. Rayman told me, guard this space. I'm guarding this space. Go away. And then, he'll smack them. If they're on a ledge, he'll smack them in that case, but he won't like always just go
Mhm,
towards ledges with the other
mhm,
version. I
mhm,
in and if there's an item there, then I don't know if he grabs the item or.
mhm, mhm.
I think if Rayman is also in that space, then he'll grab the item and bring it to Rayman. But if Rayman's not
Right.
there, then he'll be like, Rayman's busy. I have to guard the space.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works. I mean, it's the same except
It
regulated.
Yeah, it's changing the anchor more or less.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fine. That would be fine.
Okay, so let's go with Murphy then, and for the down special,
Mhm.
let's go with Plum. And while we don't necessarily include these things on the special wiki, even though we could, we'll just say Body Shot is the down aerial, much like Mega Man's down aerial.
That's what I was thinking too. Is that it could be the down aerial. Like
Yeah.
you said it yourself when you're pitching it.
Yep.
You're like, oh, it's like Mega Man's down aerial.
Yeah. And when
Yeah.
I said that, I was like, all right, so here's the argument for why Body Shot's not going to happen. I was like, and I'm okay with that because Plum is good.
Okay.
If I didn't like Plum, I would be trying to be like, well, now wait a minute.
Right. And plums are all over the damn place in
Yeah.
Rayman.
When you said Plum, was like, I don't remember Plum's. Look up Bring It the Wicked Plum's like, oh. All right. Yeah. Fair
Mhm.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's your moveset.
There's the move set. Couple last
Yeah.
details. Alternate costumes. You said you have some from Rabbids. I think it was
Yeah. Well.
like I
Yeah.
think he has like different actual costumes he wears in that, right?
Hmm. in Rabbids and Sparks of Hopes and Legends. Um, I have some pitches for all those. Do you have any unique ones too?
Not of that nature. I decided to just go with recolors, but based off of different characters like Barbara,
Okay.
Terrazan, Murphy,
Mhm.
Reflux, Andre,
Yeah.
Patilla, the Bubble Dreamer, and Mr. Dark.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And when we get to the alternate costumes, I always just leave it to you of your own volition to be like, this is what makes the most sense to me, and just there you go, because you're the
Yeah,
one putting it online.
it depends on
um,
the character, because like with Squall, like I have half the alts be his mercenary outfit, half the alts be his seed outfit. It's like, okay, these
mhm,
are his two main outfits. You can do reclothes to them. With Mario, I think on Mario I have him. I think he's got like the standard like Luigi color, but then he has like Odyssey outfits. But with
mhm,
outfits, it's hard sometimes to make that call. It's like, should there be recolors? Should it be recolors of two outfits? Should
right,
they all have like
right.
different costumes? It depends on what's
Yeah,
available and who the character is.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it to you then. I guess I'll list down what I do have just per your consideration.
Yeah.
Uh, from the Rabbids game, the first one, Rock and Roll Rayman and Granny Rayman. From Sparks of Hope, Vortex and Rocket Outfit Rayman. And from Legends, Funky Ray, Raybox, Ramesis, Rayalot, and Santa Ray. Good guys, good guys. I thought about going with Rayo, but thought that might be too on the nose.
Yeah, I look at the costumes like in Legends. I was like, oh,
Mhm,
these would be funny. It's like,
mhm.
I really don't want to do the ones that have different franchises, and then there's not enough after that fact.
Right, right, right.
Ugh.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, like the Sam Fisher one.
Yeah, the only one that would be like no matter what has to happen is like Glow Ray.
hmm hmm
The glow box
Yeah,
color for Rayman would just need to happen no matter what direction.
indeed. Yeah, I agree. And stage.
And
Home.
stage. So it's obvious, right?
You say that almost as if it's too obvious.
I do say that almost if it's too obvious. What do you think his home stage is?
I mean, the obvious pitch is just Glade of Dreams.
Hmm.
You do the Glade of Dreams, and I figure it would be similar to the grassy area you get in Rayman 2.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very, very. I also have another stage pitch, so we'll get there. What are you thinking?
So I knew everybody always says Glade of Dreams, Glade of Dreams, Glade of Dreams. Like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm watching the game, so I'm trying to be like, what even
And
is the Glade of Dreams? And I kind of found out it was
a
like,
lot of
oh, it's the
things.
name
There's a
of
lot of
the entire place. It's like the
everything.
Mushroom
Yeah.
Kingdom. It's
hmm
everything. It's like I'd say it's just like, oh, so it's just Glade of Dreams. So they just do like a general grassy hill, probably. That's
hmm
boring. Hmm. Is there any other identifiable place that would be interesting? And I'm watching the game, it's just like, fuck. There's nothing really standing out to me. Does it have to be Glade of Dreams? Shit, it might have to be Glade of Dreams. Wait a minute. What if?
It was Toad Story from Rayman Legends.
What if the home stage? Bear with me here. What if the home stage? I got this pitch for you. The home stage is Glade of Dreams, but it's a transforming stage.
Oh yeah,
The
yes.
backdrop is like what you see in Origin specifically when you're going like getting different costumes. There's the Bubble Dreamer. He's there. He's dreaming. And the Bubble Dreamer,
hmm
I found out, dreamed the entire world. I had to read into some lore for Rayman here. The
Yeah.
vast majority of the setting and the characters in the Rayman world were dreamed into life by the Bubble Dreamer. Rayman is apparently one of the few exceptions. He was made by the fairies, I guess. So I'm picturing the like you have a standard normal basic stage layout by default. But the Bubble Dreamer is the background. The Bubble Dreamer is dreaming, and he'll dream of different locations, and you'll see bubbles coming off of him, picturing these locations, and these will give you the hint of going like, oh, this is where we're going next. The bubble will pop, and the stage will begin to transform into that location. Now, what all these locations will be, I do not know because I'm not currently making the stage, but I do have one that I really, really want, and I don't know its name. But the pencil, like the colored pencil looking levels from Rayman One, I want to be one of the stage layouts.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely.
Yeah.
Penn City. Apparently is the name of it. Yeah, that's cool.
Pins? Why are you
I
saying
love
called that?
Picture City. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Picture City. I love
Pencil
those like
Pencil
old school.
Pentathlon
Yeah,
is one of the levels.
nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
specific.
I
Yeah, Pencil
do.
Pentathlon
Yeah.
specifically is what I want it to
Hmm.
be based off of.
Yeah. I miss these like toy and like school product themed levels like this or like from Wario Land 4 and whatever. Like
Yeah.
they're always memorable. Yeah. Shy Guys Storybooks. Good times. Yeah, there's Rayman. We did it.
We did it.
And I knew we would, which is, I'm happy with this episode and he's just one of those characters. There are some obvious things and then you have some room to play and it's just never anything high pressure, so it's fun.
Yeah.
Sweet.
After
All
what
right.
season was it? After 4 years after Raven was originally planned for this podcast, he's finally gotten his episode. It's done.
Oh, yeah, indeed. I wonder if Munchlax will ever get his turn.
Doubt. Unless it's in one of our random Pokemon episodes. I have zero plans for Munchlax. I don't know why Munchlax is the one you said, and then you were just trying to think of whatever the weirdest Pokemon was that you could think of.
It just came to mind. It's just, it's just something I thought about.
I would rather make a moveset for Marini.
Yeah.
I like Marini.
I'd rather make a moveset for Andre.
You could.
Good, yeah.
Apparently, he was supposed to be one of the main protagonists in Rayman 4 before they had to scrap it.
Oh, well.
It was going to be Rayman and Andre teaming up to save their girlfriends.
Of course it was.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird
Of course
when
it
you
was.
when you learn that detail. The fuck? So okay, sure.
Yep. Okay, well, let's put a lid on it. Rayman is here.
Rayman is here. Everyone is not here because the podcast is still going on. But that's all we had to talk about with
Until we're
Rayman.
90. Yeah.
Don't you put that Deadpool bullshit on me. While I could talk about Smash until I'm 90, I don't know if I'll have the energy to do the podcast when I'm 90.
Imagine.
Jesus.
They would study that in the great archives.
They shouldn't.
88 seasons of Super Cast Brothers.
That wouldn't be 88 seasons. We would have had to have started when I was 2 years old and you weren't even born yet. Jesus Christ. It'd be closer to 50 seasons.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure out the math once we get to that season.
Sure. So next episode, it's gonna be a Smasher Dash, and it's gonna be one featuring 4 characters who are avatars in action-based worlds.
Yeah.
That's all I'll tell you. We got some big names in this one. You can probably guess fairly easily who some of them will be.
Maybe all of them. Maybe even all.
I mean, if you did like a list of like 12 different games, that you could easily list all of them. But if you only listed 4, I think you're gonna probably miss 1 or 2.
Are they
But,
all playable on Switch or Switch 2?
Uh,
Maybe one of them isn't. Or at least a spin-off might be, so I'm going to count that.
yeah, I'm not really sure, honestly.
Mhm.
I don't think all of them are on Switch. There's one in particular I'm looking at that I don't think is. But that doesn't matter, because this is our fucking show, bitch. And that ain't a rule around here. Because if it was, we would not have done Aang and Steven Universe.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Good times. With that, though, that's an episode, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.